Nightwing 34, Tim Seeley writing, Javier Fernandez on art. So this is ending up this arc. We got all the pigeons and the various Nightwing birds, all with the blockbuster serum in it. Not the modified blockbuster serum that just makes them outright like Neanderthals.
Nuts.
Full on that.
It's got Hulk juice. Hulk juice.
I thought this was a solid issue. I do think it basically amounts to one big fight for the most part, though. So I feel like there's less to actually talk about. But
the stuff with the Facer, I loved. She's again talking about side characters that I've grown to love. She's one.
The Facer probably had the most to do, really, because Dick's basically just fighting Raptor on the roof for like the whole issue, whereas the Facer's got the runoffs and she's like sort of actually like forming plans. Okay, my spray cans have got antidotes in them, which is a really weird idea, but whatever, cool. Yeah. It's like, it makes for a nice visual.
Yeah. So what I want to say, all the stuff with the pigeon, I wasn't familiar at all with the pigeon. I don't know if they had created it just for this run. You know, this reveal, like she's an avatar for Ishtar and wants to destroy all other monuments to other gods. Man, I could have dealt with that from the beginning. That was cool. Like, that gave Pigeon some, like, gravity here. Because otherwise I just felt like, oh, she's this hippy-dippy, I'm going to do my art to destroy, you know, society from what they hold. But, like, this was cool.
Yeah, it felt like millennial vandalism before.
Yeah, right? And here it was like, oh no, she's a proper villain, like if she wants to be. So I hope we get more of her going forward. Yeah. And I'm kind of over this version of Blockbuster just because I feel like he's spinning his wheels, you know, like the whole casino and, oh, you're not part of Bloodhaven, this is my town.
Well, luckily, Matt, I think this is the end of this part of the story, so I feel like you may not even see him for a while.
I hope so.
And if you do, it'll be under Humphreys and doing something new with him.
Yeah, because I did like the whole Tiger Shark story. Like, I thought that was cool, like the way that he flipped on both Tiger Shark and Dick. But he set up Dick with that portal generator, so I knew he'd get out. Like, I like that part of it, but just him constantly turning into the Hulk and, you know, reverting back. I was just like, okay, it's kind of run its course.
Yeah, obviously the biggest emotional thing. I mean, other than like Sean and Dick kind of having like a little moment and being like, I can always be there to help because we're here to save this city. You get your big full page spread at the end of Nightwing with all the runoffs. He's here to stay. It's Bloodhaven. He's permanently cured Blockbuster seemingly, which he's not very happy about. But I think the real sort of emotional point in the issue that I think maybe stands out is we learn that Dick's actually potentially named after Raptor. We find out Raptor's real name is Richard. That is a very interesting point. To end on. I do like that. I did like the issue. I think it maybe just suffers from being just mostly one big fight. Also, I have a question. Maybe this is just me being confused by the art a little bit, but at one point it really looks like the Facer has Superman strength and like throws a statue onto Pigeon. Because she makes a quip about, oh, you want like these monuments torn down, and she's sort of like, it's like she's throwing this giant statue down at her. I'm like, wait a minute, like where the hell was that thing? Like she couldn't have been picking that up.
Let me look at this art.
No, you're right. It does kind of look like it.
It looks like Superman or someone's like grabbed a giant statue and like thrown it at someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not even wearing her rocket boots.
So because those would help. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Like, man.
Because I don't think I realized how big the statue is. Because you see her holding it up, but you don't see it. You just see her arm up as she's speaking, and then you see the shadow. And then you see the size of the thing that is being dropped.
Yeah, it's huge. So
yeah, that's weird.
The only way I could maybe justify it is if it was happened to just be on that roof next to them, and she just sort of like pushed it over, or like you know,
push it down.
Like, yeah.
I mean, it's still a lot to do, but it's more believable than her just picking up this giant statue.
So here's my other thing with Raptor. When Blockbuster super punches him, right? Like, did he snap his spine or something? Because we all know Raptor can't feel pain. But then he's, like, crippled. But they never really say what had happened. So are we supposed to infer, like, it did some, like, internal damage?
I think the idea is he doesn't feel it, but it was such a... It's still a strong... Yeah. It's such a strong hit, it basically, like, paralyzes him for at least temporarily.
Yeah, okay.
Because at first I thought he died. I thought that little blood panel was like a blood vessel like bursting or something like that. That's what I thought it was. You see after
Me too.
that though that he's actually alive, so he's fine. But
Yeah.
I do think it's an effective moment though. I like the idea that he doesn't actually feel it, so he thinks he's fine, and then it's like the moment later he just like feels it hit.
Yeah, I liked that part, but it was just I didn't know if he had, if he had died, and I was like, well, that's a waste of a great character, but...
No, he's alive. He's alive.
He's definitely alive, yeah.
I think my favourite art of the book, though, is probably when all the police searchlights hit Nightwing and Sean, and they're all lit up, and you've got the out of focus background. I really like that page. It's probably my favourite page of the art.
Yeah. I will tell you, I like the issue well enough as the end of the arc. I think it suffers as the end of the run. I could have done with an epilogue issue.
Yeah.
For a lot of these other bits, because the stuff with Sean and the group are by far the best moments of the book, but they're kind of lost in the impact of all the Raptor stuff.
No, I can get behind that.
Unfortunate.
Obviously, you have the funny moments of Voda where she gets Tiger Shark. She just kind of runs into him and is like, "Hey, I got a super villain."
Is it just me completely forgetting what she looks like, or does she look different here?
No, she looks different here. She looks fatter here.
That's what I was like, because it said that she was Voda. I was like, is it?
No, she was always she was never like really slim. She always had like a little bit more of a realistic look to her. But this was like a lot chunkier here, and which is weird because Fernandez has been drawing this book on and off since the start. Like he's been around, so it is a bit weird.
Like I said,
I don't think it was rushed.
I don't have a problem with it if that's the look they want, but it was jarring because I was like, is that her? Like that's not what I remember her looking like.
This was definitely a lot rounder than she normally is. I mean, she's always been a little bit, not like super slim. She's always had more of a normal look, but
like I always looked at her like she's built like a Olympic lifter. She's got big, broad shoulders. Like she's a cop. She can handle herself. And here though she looks like Amanda Waller.
She looks like she's had a few too many donuts since the last issue.
Rounded face. I think because that's the first time you see it, and she's she's saying, "Oh, coming through," Lieutenant Voda coming through. I'm like, well, I'm really glad you told me that was her there.
Yeah, I imagine he just went off the description of it's a female Bullock, but Fernandez missed the female part, so he just started drawing Bullock. And they're like, no, it's Svoboda! So, yeah, I'll make the hair longer. We'll fix it in coloring. Yeah.
Is that the comics equivalent of we'll fix it in post?
Yeah, I think
we'll
it
fix
is.
It in color.
So I think it was a fine issue. It's just a shame that maybe it wasn't the strongest that the run's had. Like you hope that you out in the highest of high notes, and it's just kind of like, no, it's a solid issue of Nightwing, but it wasn't at the heights that it's been.
I do feel though like we have set up a new status quo for him. Like after all this time from the New 52 and all that, he's back in Bloodhaven, and like he has a supporting cast and even his own rogues gallery.
Yeah, he's with.
Yeah, you got the runoffs, so the runoffs are clearly sticking around based on that ending.
Yeah, but like the fact that at the end it's Mr. Nice, and I felt like it was kind of like Batman Begins at the end where they're talking on the rooftop and Gordon shows the Joker card, and there's like, oh, it's one of yours. He's, what does he say? You got one of yours. Kidnapped a couple of radio pundits.
Yeah, to set this up though, like just to set up the scene, because you're hitting at the reference or compared to Begins, but it ends on a rooftop with like Svoboda's called Nightwing, and she's got, but unlike Gordon, she has a cup of coffee waiting for him, which is,
I actually really liked how it wasn't a rooftop; it was just on the docks. Like,
it was on the docks, but it was that kind of scene though, right? It was calling in the
it's
hero.
One of yours, and he's like, oh, Mr. Nice, and then he goes off, and it's got the runoffs, and Orca's there, and it's done a lot of progression. I like that. I like when it feels like its own section of the DCU.
I like that the squirrel is front and center.
Yes.
It's important.